Welcome to this English learning podcast. My name is Anna, and I am very happy that you are here with me today. I know how hard it can feel to learn a new language, and I know that sometimes you want to give up. But today, I want you to relax, listen, and let English slowly become a natural part of your life. This podcast is your safe space. A place where you can grow step by step, without fear, without pressure, and without stress. Every minute you listen, every word you understand, and every idea you learn makes you stronger and more confident. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's begin this journey together. I am here with you, and I believe in you. Enjoy the episode. Sometimes I think about how many times I already tried to learn English before. I always started with a lot of energy, with strong motivation, with the feeling that this time I will finally become fluent. I opened my books, watched videos, repeated new words, and told myself that nothing could stop me. But later, somewhere between the dream and the real progress, my motivation slowly became weaker. Days felt heavy, results came very slowly, and I felt tired. I stopped again, not because I was lazy or weak, but because nobody explained to me a very important truth about learning a language. Learning English is not built only in the moments when you feel excited, inspired, or full of energy. It is built in the moments when you feel tired, bored, or not in the mood, but you still continue. Many people want to speak English well, but only a few are ready to accept that real improvement requires simple, repeated actions every day. It is not about big heroic effort. It is about small steps that you take again and again, even on days when you don't want to. You think you need more motivation, but what you really need is the habit of staying consistent. You think you need excitement, but what you truly need is patience and endurance. Your English grows not in big moments, but in the quiet repetition of correct effort. Listening every day, reading just a little, learning a few new words, practicing speaking even when you feel shy. And when your mind whispers, "Not today, you can learn tomorrow," remember that this small moment can change everything. When you win this tiny battle, when you say no to excuses, you shape your future. Soon the English language starts to answer you with progress. Soon the world opens more opportunities because you stayed consistent. I speak to you as a girl who also struggled with routine, discipline, and confidence. I know how uncomfortable it feels when you hear someone speak fast English and you understand almost nothing. I know the fear of speaking and making mistakes. I know how difficult it is to continue learning when results are slow. But today, I understand something important. Consistency is the real magic behind every person who speaks English well. Chapter 1: The Law of Consistency. Every person who speaks English fluently today was once a beginner who didn't give up. Every strong English skill started as small daily efforts repeated again and again. Everything in nature grows through repetition. A river becomes strong not because of one moment, but because it flows every single day. The sun rises every day, the seasons return every year, and everything follows a rhythm. So why should only humans wait for motivation before taking action? We must also create our own rhythm, and for language learning, this rhythm is called consistency. Many learners fail because they wait for motivation instead of building strong habits. They feel excited for one day, but then stop because they expect fast progress. But English is not mastered in one big moment. It becomes easier only when you repeat simple actions many times until they feel natural. Every success in learning English is built on the habit of doing small things well. A learner who studies 20 minutes every day will always grow faster than someone who studies for 3 hours only once in a while. A girl who listens to English every morning will understand more than someone who waits for the right moment. A student who reads one page every day will become stronger than someone who reads a whole book once a month. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is powerful. Through it, confusion becomes clarity, fear becomes confidence, and weakness becomes strength. The person who stays consistent has already won half of the battle. So decide today to build a simple, stable rhythm in your English learning. Don't ask when the results will come. They always come to people who keep studying. If nature never fails to bring morning after night, why should you fail to bring effort after effort? Chapter 2. The Enemy of Weak Will. Every woman and every man has the power to control their actions, thoughts, and future. But many people give this power away. They make excuses, they wait for a better mood, they postpone lessons, and slowly they become servants of their own weak habits. Weak will does not appear in one moment. It grows when we let ourselves skip study again and again. It starts with one small thought, not today, and becomes a habit that controls your life. Every time you choose comfort instead of practice, you make it harder to grow. Every time you avoid English because it feels difficult, you give more power to your fear. But your willpower grows exactly like a muscle, through repeated resistance. When you push yourself to practice even a little every day, you become stronger. When you avoid effort, you lose strength. So every hour of your day builds your will or destroys it. Strong willpower is not a gift. You build it yourself. When the temptation to skip learning appears, remind yourself, I am the master, not the servant. When you feel tired or discouraged, answer those feelings with action. Open a small video, read a short text, listen to a simple podcast, or learn 5 new words. You don't need to think yourself into strength. You need to act yourself into strength. Every small action becomes a brick in the foundation of your English. Every repeated effort becomes part of your identity. One day you look back and realize that your English is not just something you learn, it is something you live. And when you reach that point when English becomes natural and familiar, you will feel proud that you continued even when it was hard. You will understand that the real victory was not in the grammar or the vocabulary. The real victory was in your consistency. And now, when you continue your English journey, remember, you are stronger than your excuses, more powerful than your fears, and fully capable of becoming the person you want to be. Your English future begins not tomorrow, not someday, but right now, with the next small step you choose to take. And now, after everything we already discussed, I want to share with you something even more important about learning English, something that helped me personally when I felt lost or tired. Many people wait for the perfect moment to study, when they feel fresh, when they have free time, when their mood is good, or when life becomes easier. But the more you wait, the more difficult English becomes. I learned that action is the only real way forward. When you act even a little, you feel stronger. When you avoid learning, even for one day, you feel weaker. A person with a weak will waits for better conditions, but a person with a strong will creates those conditions by starting now. When you choose to learn English every day, step by step, the language begins to open for you. At first slowly, then faster, and then one day it becomes natural. Nature always respects people who are persistent. Weak will disappears in front of small problems, but strong will grows above all difficulties. Every big achievement in English, like understanding movies or speaking with confidence, is built by stubborn dedication. When life feels stressful, when you are tired or emotional, you still have the power to learn a little. And each time you begin, you wake up your willpower. Each time you continue, your will grows. When you repeat this again and again, things that once felt impossible, like speaking English without fear, suddenly become normal for you. Chapter 3. Discipline, the foundation of your English success. There is no language mastery without discipline. All skills, all progress, all victories in English rest on this one foundation. Discipline does not mean being cruel to yourself or saying no to everything fun. Discipline means saying yes to your bigger goal even when comfort calls you to rest. It means choosing habits that help your future, not habits that make you weaker. A person without discipline is like a ship without direction. Maybe they have good talent. Maybe they have a good English ear, but they go nowhere because they do not control their time. But a disciplined learner, even with a simple notebook and a few minutes a day, always reaches their goal because they move with purpose. And the truth is that discipline exists everywhere in nature. The tides follow order, the planets move in harmony, and even a tiny seed cannot grow without following its own process. Humans are the same. If you want your English to grow, you must let your old habits die, like fear, laziness, or excuses, and choose new habits that help you become stronger. Discipline begins with small things. The person who cannot control their time cannot control their progress. The person who cannot limit distractions cannot learn well. So begin with little duties. 5 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of listening, repeating new words every morning. When you complete these small tasks, bigger tasks become easier. Every act of self-control becomes a small victory inside you, and the next victory becomes easier. Discipline transforms your ideas about learning into real success. So make discipline your daily rule. Let no hour be completely empty. Let no decision be made without thinking about your future. Push yourself to follow your plan until discipline becomes something natural, something you enjoy. There will come a moment when you will not need to push yourself anymore. You will move forward automatically because you will have the habit of power. Chapter 4. The power of repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Whatever you repeat becomes part of you. If you constantly repeat fear or excuses, they become your habits. If you repeat English practice every day, that becomes your strength. Every thought you place in your mind again and again becomes a habit, and every habit becomes part of your life. Nature reaches perfection through repetition. The waves hit the shore again and again. The heart beats every moment of your life, and the seasons repeat their cycle every year. Human progress works exactly the same. The best English learners do not succeed because they are special or gifted. They succeed because they understand that improvement comes from simple actions, repeated many times. A writer becomes good by writing every day, not by waiting for inspiration. An athlete builds their body with thousands of hours of practice, not with dreams. And you will master English by reading, listening, and speaking again and again. What the mind does often, it soon does easily. So choose what you repeat. If you repeat weakness, you become weaker. If you repeat discipline, you become stronger. Remember this truth. In learning English, there is no such thing as standing still. You either move forward or you move backward. Every day you choose which direction your English goes, and I want you to choose forward. I want you to choose growth. I want you to choose the version of yourself who can speak, understand, and live through English. This is not just a language. This is your future, your confidence, your new world. And I am here with you, step by step, word by word, lesson by lesson. You are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and your English journey is just beginning. And now I want to share with you the next important part of our English journey. Something I really feel in my own life, every day, with every small action. You are either making your English stronger or weaker. There is no nothing happens. When you choose to listen, read, write, or speak in English, even just a little, you are feeding your strength. When you choose to scroll your phone instead of practicing, you are feeding your weakness. This is the law of repetition, and this law never sleeps. It only rewards consistency. That is why I try to make my morning special for my English goals and my evening special for review. In the morning, I ask myself, what small thing can I do for my English today? Maybe it is 10 minutes of listening, maybe a short text, maybe learning 5 new words. In the evening, I ask myself, what did I do for my English today? Which habit did I make stronger? You can do the same. It does not need to be perfect or long. But when you repeat this day after day, you are building a quiet fortress inside you, a strong base of skills, confidence, and discipline. Now let's talk about something that hurts many learners, including me: procrastination, the habit of saying, I will study tomorrow. Procrastination steals your future in a very quiet way. It does not take one big year suddenly. It takes your time hour by hour, day by day, until months pass and your level is still the same. Every time you say tomorrow, you are choosing a little regret in your future instead of a little progress. Now delay often looks very innocent. It wears a mask. It says, I am tired now, or I am just being careful, or I am waiting for the perfect time to study. But there is no perfect time. The only real time is now. Now is the moment when you have power. If you look at history and at successful people, you will see that big achievements never started in perfect situations. People began when they were busy, tired, afraid, or not ready. The builder does not wait for perfect weather to start his work. He builds in the sun and in the rain. If you wait for a perfect moment to learn English, you will never really begin. The true reason for delay is usually fear. Fear of failure, fear of feeling stupid, fear of making mistakes, fear of what other people will think. But here is a secret from my own experience. Fear becomes weak when you act. The second you open a text, play an audio, or say a sentence, fear starts to disappear. When you act, you are feeding courage. When you wait, you are feeding fear. So try to create a new habit. When you decide to learn, act fast. Decide once, then move. Don't give your brain time to argue. If you decided to study at 10, then at 9:59, open your book, your app, or your podcast. Every small lesson finished today is like a brick in the beautiful house of your English. Delay makes your will weaker, but action makes it stronger. Look at nature. The stars do not wait for people to be ready. They rise anyway. The seasons do not stop for those who did not prepare for winter. In the same way, your life continues. Time moves. You can choose to move with it and grow, or you can stay behind. So push yourself to act even when you do not feel ready. The action itself will make you ready. Every time you win against procrastination, you gain a little more power, and one day, without a big fight, you will see that learning regularly has become natural, and consistency walks with you like a friend. Now let's talk about the law of steady progress. This law controls every kind of growth, including your English. Nobody becomes fluent in one jump. Every mountain is climbed by many small steps, and every strong, stable level of English is built by patient, continuous effort. The law of steady progress says that even the smallest correct action, repeated again and again, carries inside it the seed of something great. Nature shows this to us all the time. A big oak tree starts as a tiny acorn, but it grows strong because it continues to grow silently every day. A river shapes rocks and valleys not with one big wave, but with constant movement. The sun is very far away, but because it shines every single day, it warms our whole planet. Many learners make one big mistake. They confuse movement with progress. At the beginning, they study very hard for a few days or weeks. They feel excited. They do many exercises, but then they become tired, bored, or disappointed. They stop, and all that movement does not become real progress because it was not steady. True progress is not about fast, loud energy. It is about calm, regular action. Success in English does not come to the person who works hard only for one day. It comes to the person who shows up every day, even for a short time. If you invest a little bit of effort every day, you will pass the person who only dreams or plans, but never really studies a single drop of water. Falling on the same place again and again can cut through stone. Your will and your discipline can shape your destiny in the same way if you apply them steadily. Greatness in English is not created in one big emotional moment when you feel super motivated. It is created in simple daily actions that look normal. Opening your notebook, pressing play on a podcast, writing a short paragraph, repeating vocabulary. The world respects and celebrates people who continue when others stop. Every hour you stay on your path adds weight to your strength, just like every grain of sand adds weight to a mountain. So when you feel that your progress is slow, remember this. Slow is not the same as wrong. Slow plus steady is powerful. Your job is not to be perfect today. Your job is to be present today. Listen a little, read a little, speak a little, write a little. If you do this again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, the law of steady progress will work for you, quietly but surely. And one day you will surprise yourself. You will understand a full episode without subtitles. You will speak and people will understand you. And you will realize that you did not reach this level by magic. You reached it by every tiny step you took, even on days when you wanted to give up. And now I want to show you how this same law works in learning English. If you really want to improve your English, you must touch it every day. If you want to develop your mind, read or listen in English every day. If you want to build confidence and a strong character, practice patience with yourself every day. It does not matter how big your step is. What matters is the direction and the consistency of your journey. Many learners wait for a special moment, a big opportunity, a free weekend, a new book, a perfect teacher. But they ignore the small opportunity they already have every morning, 10 quiet minutes to read, 5 new words to learn, a short podcast to listen to. Opportunities are not big events that happen once. They are small decisions you repeat every day. When you practice a little every day, delay becomes progress, confusion becomes understanding, and weakness becomes strength. When you commit yourself to steady progress, your life stops being random. Your mind becomes clearer, your purpose becomes stronger, your heart becomes calmer, and you stop drifting. You begin to direct your own learning. So put your hand on your English goal and do not let it go. Let your study be constant and your effort steady. Do not expect a quick miracle or instant fluency. All valuable things grow slowly through time. A seed does not become a flower in one day, and your English will not become strong in one week. But one day, after many small repetitions, progress appears naturally and quietly. You open a video and understand everything. You speak and the words flow. You listen and nothing scares you. This moment arrives only for those who keep moving, even when progress feels invisible. The law of steady progress never fails. It only waits for you to follow it. Nature respects the one who continues. Chapter 7. Faith in Routine. In life, there are two kinds of people: those who jump from one idea to another, always starting and stopping, and those who follow a stable, calm rhythm that even problems cannot break. The difference between them is one thing: faith in routine. And this is the most important secret for learning English. When you trust your routine becomes the engine of your success. Small, normal actions suddenly create big results. When you trust your routine, you trust the natural order of progress. You know that everything you do today will give fruit later. But faith in routine is not blind repetition. It is smart, patient consistency. It is believing that the right habits, repeated with patience and purpose, will bring results in their own time. A farmer prepares the soil even when the sky is gray. He does not question whether the sun will rise tomorrow. He knows it will. And in the same way, the learner who trusts their routine studies every day, even when nothing seems to change. One lesson, one page, one podcast. Each small action becomes a link in the chain of your progress. If you look at the greatest people in history, artists, philosophers, teachers, inventors, all of them lived by routines. They followed simple, stable habits every day. They trusted repetition. They trusted consistency. They trusted the slow building of skill. And if you want strong English, you need the same faith. When you follow your routine, even when you feel tired, even when you don't see results, even when you doubt yourself, you are becoming the version of you who can speak English freely, confidently, and naturally. And step by step, day by day, without pressure, without fear, your routine becomes your power. And this brings me to another truth about learning English that changed everything for me. Great learners do not depend on inspiration, they depend on discipline. People who truly grow in English do not ask themselves, "Do I feel like studying today?" They study because learning is part of their daily life, like eating or sleeping. Faith in routine protects you from doubt. It quiets that inner voice that tells you you're not getting better. It teaches you patience during the invisible stages of growth, the stages when nothing seems to change, but everything actually changes inside you. Just like a seed must stay in the dark soil before it breaks through and grows, your mind must repeat English again and again in silence before you see the results in your speaking and understanding. Now let's think about why so many people fail in their English journey. It is because they trust emotion instead of structure. They study when they feel excited and stop when they feel tired. They follow comfort instead of commitment. And so their life becomes a long collection of broken beginnings. But the learner who believes in routine never starts over. Because she never stops. She moves forward automatically, guided by habit, supported by patience, protected by structure. And here is the truth I want you to remember forever. No one can build strong English while changing their method every week. Stable actions bring stable results. Every plan, every goal, every dream needs the same thing: repetition with trust. When you feel discouraged, let your routine hold you. When you feel tired, let your habit move you. When your mind is full of doubts, follow your schedule, not your emotions. Continue your daily practice even when every part of you wants to avoid it, because feelings are temporary shadows. They pass. But your routine is eternal if you protect it. Faith in routine gives you freedom. When you build your day around your English practice, you stop wasting energy on decisions like, should I study now or later? You already know what to do. Your mind becomes free, your focus becomes stronger, and progress becomes inevitable. So choose sacred minutes for English, a sacred hour for practice, a sacred moment for reflection, a sacred habit for growth. Protect these small moments as you would protect something precious, because they are precious. Through these little acts, you shape your character slowly and strongly, the same way a sculptor shapes stone with patient, focused hands. Every morning when you follow your routine, you say to yourself without words, I believe in my progress. Keep this belief long enough, and your life will reflect the same harmony and order that exists in nature. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, in the learner who stays loyal to her routine. And now we come to another danger you must learn to conquer on your English journey: distraction. There is a silent thief that steals your progress and your peace. It is not bad luck, not age, not difficulty. It is distraction. It is the divided mind that tries to do everything and achieves nothing. Many learners begin a lesson and then switch to a message, then a video, then a thought, then another plan. Their days are full of movement, but empty of real progress. But every form of greatness requires concentration. A lens collects scattered light and turns it into fire. A river, when kept between banks, becomes powerful enough to shape rock. Your mind is the same. It becomes strong only when it is fully focused on one thing at a time. Distraction doesn't only waste minutes, it wastes pieces of your life. Every time your mind jumps from one thing to another, your will becomes weaker. Every time you allow interruptions, you train your mind to wander. The root of distraction is a weak purpose. If you don't choose one great goal in English, you will be pulled by small desires: entertainment, fear, doubts, comfort, impatience. You stop choosing your life, and life begins choosing for you. The cure for distraction is focus, and focus is born from discipline. Make your purpose as solid as a mountain. Let your thoughts move toward it the way rivers flow to the sea. Do not let small things steal your attention. When something tries to interrupt you, say quietly, "This is not my path right now," and return to your English. When your mind learns to concentrate, it becomes calm and powerful. The distracted learner becomes tired quickly, but the focused learner becomes stronger with every minute one wanders. The other advances. Remember this truth: your mind can hold only one main thought at a time. Choose that thought wisely. Make it your guide, your goal, your vision. Protect it like something valuable, because it will become your future. Distraction also weakens your inner strength. The learner who cannot control her attention cannot control her habits. But the learner who focuses on meaningful work finds peace even during effort. Her mind becomes a calm place where noise has no power. So set strong boundaries in your mind. Keep some minutes of silence every day to think deeply about your goals, to plan clearly, to renew your energy. Close the door of your mind to empty conversations, useless scrolling, and negative thoughts. Every minute protected from distraction becomes a minute invested in your destiny. When you feel many desires pulling you in different directions, remember the eternal law. Your energy goes where your attention goes. If you give attention to fear, fear grows. If you give attention to purpose, purpose grows. So force yourself to return to focus. Begin one task and finish it. Choose one English goal and give it your full heart. Soon, the energy that once scattered your progress will become the energy that multiplies it, because the learner who conquers distraction conquers herself, and the learner who conquers herself becomes the master of consistency, the foundation of all greatness in English. And now I want to talk about something that has completely changed my way of learning English: the power of small steps. There is a quiet strength hidden inside the smallest acts of persistence. It does not shout, it does not rush, but it has the power to conquer anything. This is the power of small steps, the power that makes you improve even on days when you feel slow or tired. Every kind of success in English, speaking clearly, understanding naturally, thinking in English, begins not with a big moment, but with one simple step, then another step, then another. You cannot jump to fluency. You reach it by moving forward little by little. A person may dream about speaking English perfectly, but she can do it only by learning one new phrase, one new word, one new rule again and again. This same law works for character, knowledge, skill, and confidence. Progress is built from small pieces that seem tiny to impatient people, but feel like miracles to those who stay consistent. The impatient learner hates small beginnings. She wants to speak well immediately. She wants results before she invests time. She wants the harvest without planting the seeds. And because of this, she becomes tired and gives up. But the disciplined learner, the learner who knows the law of small steps, celebrates every little victory: one paragraph read, one page finished, one podcast understood a bit more, because she knows that these small actions are part of a much bigger plan. And nature teaches the same truth. The morning light does not appear suddenly. It grows slowly. A child does not become an adult overnight. All growth takes time. A sculptor does not create a statue with one strike. He shapes the stone again and again until the beauty appears. The impatient person says, "This is too small. This doesn't matter." But the wise person says, "This small action I do every day is building my future." And that is exactly how English works. Your mind cannot grow all at once. It needs repetition, order, and time. Every time you do a small task with care, reading a short text, learning 5 words, listening to a few minutes of English, you create a pattern of success inside your mind. And when these patterns repeat, they become habits. These habits build your character, and your character shapes your future. This is why the person who takes one right step every day becomes stronger than someone who tries to do everything at once and then stops. Many people feel discouraged because they compare where they are now to where they want to be. The distance feels huge. But look at the oak tree. It doesn't check its height every morning. It simply grows. So be like the oak. Practice English every day with calm confidence and allow time to work for you. Every small effort matters. Every minute of listening, every exercise finished, every little mistake corrected, all of them are stones in the road to mastery. In the life of a consistent learner, nothing is wasted. Even mistakes become lessons because she keeps going until the mistake teaches her something. So how do you use this truth? Choose one thing in English. one habit, one exercise, one skill, and repeat it daily until you feel it becoming natural. Don't waste your energy on too many goals at the same time. Master one small step, then the next, and soon progress becomes your friend. You climb the mountain by taking many steps, but each step is the same size. What matters is not speed, but direction. One correct step repeated every day will take you farther than 1,000 sudden jumps of motivation. So train yourself to appreciate small beginnings. Be proud of small victories. Stay patient through small tasks. In time, small becomes big, slow becomes fast, and simple becomes powerful. The habit of small steps is the secret of endurance. It turns tiredness into strength, confusion into understanding, and dreams into real results. Every small step is a promise that you did not give up. Every repetition is proof that you control your will. So take the next small step today, even if nobody sees it, even if it feels tiny, because that small step is the stone at the bottom of the great life you are building with English. And now I want to speak about something that every English learner must understand deeply. Mastery comes only through patience. There is no real fluency without patience, no confidence without patience, no strong listening skills or natural speaking without patience. Every person who became great in anything first learned to respect this law, and if you want to master English, you must respect it too. Patience is the quiet guardian of all progress. It is the invisible bridge between your daily effort and your final results, between your faith and your achievements. Impatience is the child of fear. It whispers, "Your English will never improve. You will never understand. This is too slow." But patience is the child of faith. And it answers, "The progress is already on its way. Keep going." Impatience pushes you to rush, to look for shortcuts, to jump from one method to another. But patience guides your hand and helps your work grow stronger and more beautiful. When you force yourself to be patient, you become the master of your emotions. You become someone who can continue even when results are not visible. You stop demanding fast miracles and learn to move in harmony with the real law of growth. Look at nature. The mountain does not rise in one day. The river does not make its path in an hour. The stars travel for ages without hurry. Everything that lasts, everything that has real value, grows slowly. Only temporary and weak things come too fast. Impatient learners ruin their own progress. They study today, then check themselves tomorrow and get upset because they do not see big changes. They switch methods before giving them time to work. They quit right before success finally begins. They become builders who tear down their house every evening and start again every morning. Patience is not weakness. Patience is controlled strength. It is quiet confidence that English becomes easier with time. The learner who has patience cannot be defeated because she never stops. Every delay becomes a lesson. Every difficult moment becomes a test that makes her stronger. Every confusion becomes proof that she is learning something new. Every skill demands patience. A craftsman trains for years. A student studies word by word. A fighter trains daily. A thinker waits for ideas to grow. English is no different. You must also repeat, wait, and allow your mind to grow. Time is not your enemy. It becomes your partner if you use it wisely. Every day you study shortens the distance between you and fluency. Every calm hour you invest multiplies your understanding. The person who wastes time in frustration loses both progress and peace. But the one who accepts time as an ally gains both wisdom and achievement. So when your results seem slow, do not panic. Instead, ask yourself, am I staying true to my purpose? If your purpose is correct and your effort is steady, then the progress will come by natural law. Fruit takes time to become sweet, and your English skills also need time to become strong, and natural patience also shapes your character. It teaches humility, discipline, and emotional control. When you learn to wait without complaining, you become someone capable of great things. Life gives its biggest rewards only to people who can accept delay without losing purpose. So take care of your patience like you take care of your motivation. When irritation rises because you don't understand something, remember, no storm lasts forever. When the road feels long, remember, progress hides inside persistence. When others rush and then quit, stay calm and steady. Slow and stable always wins over fast and chaotic. Impatience often pretends to be ambition. It tells you to hurry, to change methods, to chase something new because the present feels too ordinary. But don't trust this voice. Real ambition is steady. Real ambition grows by sure steps, not confused jumps. Patience creates mastery because it gives your mind time to understand deeply. The impatient learner speaks before thinking and makes the same mistakes again and again. The patient learner thinks before speaking and grows wiser with each step. Remember this truth. The world rewards patience not accidentally, but by law. Soil that survives the seasons produces the best fruit. A mind that survives challenges produces the highest understanding. And the learner who survives her fears, doubts, and delays has already won the most important battle. So force yourself to wait calmly when everything inside you wants fast results. Hold your purpose firmly when others lose motivation. Because the same power that moves the stars also moves inside the heart of every person who continues with patience. And now, as we reach the end of this long journey of ideas, I want to offer you a final message from my heart. Something I learned through many months of studying English with hope, frustration, excitement, mistakes, and countless small steps. When I look back at everything we talked about, discipline, routine, focus, small steps, patience, steady progress, I see that all of these ideas point to one simple truth. Learning English is not just a school task. It is a long relationship with yourself. It is a slow transformation of your mind. It is a promise you make to your future. And every day you practice, even for a few minutes, you are keeping that promise. You may not feel it right now, but I want you to understand something very clearly. Every word you learn becomes a brick in the foundation of your confidence. Every mistake you make becomes a teacher. Every time you keep going when you want to stop becomes a victory that strengthens your character. And the amazing part is that English is not only a language, it is a mirror of your personal growth. When you learn to stay calm during difficult texts, you train your patience. When you repeat vocabulary again and again, even when you're tired, you train your discipline. When you sit down and listen to English for 10 minutes, even though your mind wants to do something easier, you train your willpower. And when you succeed, when you understand a conversation, when you express a thought clearly, when you follow a podcast without translation, you celebrate not just an English victory, but a life victory. Because you prove to yourself that you can learn anything if you stay consistent. I want you to know that every learner, even the most confident one, has days of doubt. I have them too. There were days when I felt like I wasn't improving at all, days when I couldn't understand a simple sentence, days when I wanted to give up. But each time I continued, even if I practiced for only a few minutes, I found a small spark inside myself, a quiet voice that said, "Keep going. You're closer than you think." And I want you to hear that same voice inside you. You are closer than you think. You may not feel the results immediately, but your mind is changing. English is slowly becoming a part of you. The progress that is invisible today becomes visible tomorrow. The words that confuse you now will one day feel natural. The exercises that seem difficult today will one day feel easy. The sentences you cannot form now will one day flow from your mouth without fear. And this change does not come from luck. It comes from your patience, your daily effort, your willingness to continue when things are not perfect. So let this be your final message. Don't rush. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't wait for motivation. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't fear slow progress. And don't believe the voice that says you are not improving. Instead, trust the law of growth. Trust the work you put in. Trust the small steps. Trust the routine. Trust the patience that you are learning day by day. And trust yourself, because no one else will walk this path for you. No one else will open the books, listen to the lessons, practice the sentences, fight the distractions, keep the routine, or carry the discipline. Only you can do that. And the fact that you are here, reading this, learning, trying, thinking about your future, that already makes you the kind of person who can succeed. English is not a test of intelligence. It is a test of character. And you have everything you need to pass it: the desire, the willpower, the courage, and the heart. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine yourself a year from now. You wake up, put on your headphones, and understand English podcasts without stopping. You speak with confidence. You think in English automatically. You read books without fear. And most importantly, you feel proud. Not because you learned a language, but because you kept a promise to yourself. That future version of you is waiting. And she is cheering for you. She knows how strong you are. She knows how many times you continued when it was hard. She knows how many times you chose progress instead of comfort. She knows how many small steps you took. And she knows that all of those steps brought you to a new life. So let today be your new beginning. Let today be the day you choose to continue. Not fast, not perfect, not for hours, but with sincerity. 10 minutes of listening. 5 new words. 1 short paragraph. 1 small step. Because one day when you look back, you will see that this small step is the step that changed everything. And now, as we finish this long message, I want to leave you with one final truth. The same power that moves the stars, the same patience that shapes mountains, the same rhythm that grows forests, that same power lives inside you. And if you honor it with consistency, routine, focus, and patience, it will lead you exactly where you dream to be. So take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and keep going. Your English future is waiting for you, and you are ready for it. Even if you don't feel ready yet, just begin, just continue, just trust the process, and you will get there, step by step, day by day.